How many times have you found yourself using the words, I'm so stressed? Saying to yourself that you're stressed, saying to friends that you're stressed. If you're anything like the majority of people, you probably use this word a lot. I know that I do. I used to default to saying I was stressed an awful lot. And I want to talk about why I believe, need to stop actually using that word so much to describe how it is that we're feeling. Because that word, like stress, is such a huge thing. Like, stress is really much more of a physiological response. Like, the stress response is something that happens in our physiology. And usually, when we default to using that word, I'm stressed, I feel so stressed, I can't handle this, I'm so stressed, it almost always is covering up the truth of a deeper emotional experience. One of my teachers once said to me that precision is the language of love. And at the time, I was just like, what are you talking about? I didn't really get it. And then he started to explain, he was talking about that in the context of psychoneuroimmunology. Specifically, he was talking about how, our whole body, our whole organism, our system loves precision. Think about homeostasis, which is the mechanism by which the body controls all of these internal variables: temperature, heart rate, heartbeat, oxygen, blood pH, all of these things. And they're controlled in very precise parameters. And so he was kind of speaking to it in that sense. But I now understand that saying, which I've come to really love, in a much deeper way, actually. So we know from quite a lot of research that actually when we name an emotional experience, there is this organization that happens internally, which I'll speak about in just a moment. So when we default to saying the whole time, I'm stressed, it's so imprecise. And there is not that organization, there is not the opportunity for that internal organization to happen. So if we think for a moment the experience of stress, like just think for a moment when you use that word, I'm stressed, I'm so stressed. There is this energy of this. There's like tightening, there's constriction. There is almost always a sense of too muchness, like overwhelm. It's too much. I'm stressed. And this is why we need to start being much more precise and kind of speaking that love language to our system. If we say we're stressed, we need to start going a little bit deeper. What is it that I'm actually feeling? And we could even ask ourselves, my daughter's shouting to me from downstairs. Let's just see if she stops. She is with my partner. Anyway, back to this very important topic. So usually there is this experience of too muchness. So if we start actually inquiring a little bit deeper, I really want to invite you, the next time you find yourself saying to yourself internally or on the phone or to a friend, I'm so stressed. How are you? I'm stressed. I'm feeling stressed. I'm so stressed. Take a moment and actually go a little bit deeper. Ask yourself, what is it that I'm actually experiencing in my being right now? You could ask yourself, what is it that is too much? Because like I said, often with stress, there's this experience that it's too much. And we might even find ourselves saying that it's just too much. It's just too much. And again, the imprecision of that is not giving us this opportunity for self-organization. So what is it that is actually too much? What's too much? What? you know? And this is self-inquiry. This is something that we get better at doing. The reason this is so important is also because it helps create a sense of safety. So, two ways I'm going to frame that. One is that there is a lot of research showing that when we name an emotional experience, when we actually give a name to it, not just stressed, but like, okay, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling disappointed, I'm feeling rejected. When we actually name those emotional experiences precisely, again, that love language, there is a part of our brain, our amygdala, which processes a lot of our emotions, particularly kind of fear, stress-based emotions, that starts to downregulate, that starts to deactivate. And then our frontal lobe can come back online. We can have greater connection between the brain and the body. So there's that piece that we know from research. And there's also this piece about safety and attunement. So when we name an emotional experience, we don't just default to saying, it's too much, I'm stressed. What's too much? What am I actually feeling right now? It creates safety. So in one way, yes, we could talk about that neuroscientifically, but I also want to talk about that more in terms of our psyche, our kind of internal experience, which is that actually what it does is it creates attunement. And that is so fundamental to feeling safe. So when we name more precisely how we're feeling, in order to do that, we have to inquire. We have to go in, we have to pause. We have to attune to what it is in this moment that we're actually feeling. And that process of attunement, actually regardless of how I'm feeling, it is that attunement process which creates safety. Same thing in relationships with me and other people. Same thing in my own relationship with myself. And actually, it's one way that we can start to create a secure, healthy attachment internally, where we can become our own attachment figure, secure attachment figure. So this process of self-attuning creates safety, and it does that in various ways. So the next time that you find yourself defaulting to those really broad words that really belie the truth of your emotional experience, I just want you to remember this and me. Pause for a moment. You could put your hand on your heart, ignore my terrible nail polish, and just ask yourself, go in for a moment. Take a breath. What is it that I'm actually feeling right now? What is it that's too much? So I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Hit me up with a comment, share this with a friend. See you soon.